Do you want to make a planner? Hi, I'm Polly Payne. I am the CEO and founder of Horacio Printing. I'm the creator of the Dream Planner, and I'm the host of the Dream Printing podcast. I'm so glad you're here, and let's dive into how to create a planner for a paper snob. So raise your hand if you are also a paper snob. Maybe you love to just smell the paper in the planner aisle at Target or wherever you love to shop for paper goods, Paper Source, all the places. That is just your happy place. Me too. You're in good company. Comment below and let me know if that is who you are. We're going to talk about how to make a planner. Before I dive into that, I would love to invite you to a free workshop where I go through the ins and outs of the full planner creation. It's just a little deeper, and I talk about costs, I talk about timelines and all of that. So HoracioPrinting.com/workshop is a great free resource for you. I made it for you. So make sure you go watch that and save that for after this episode. So let's dive in. All right, I'm so glad you're here. So I am also a paper snob, certified, born and raised. I've been obsessed with paper forever. And I created my company back in 2014. This was actually my first ever product. I have it right here. My 2014 is when I made it, but it was for 2015. This is the planner. And it was definitely the best I could do because I didn't know what I was doing and I couldn't find the right printer. You can see the paper was, the cover wasn't thick, but it worked. And then the paper was super thick. And I remember at the time the printer was like, nobody uses paper this thick in a planner. And I'm like, I don't care. I wanted my paper in my planner to feel like art paper, like paper you could color in and marker in and watercolor in, because your life is your canvas. And I wanted this to feel like sketchbook paper. And so that's what I'm obsessed with. They thought I was crazy. This was massively expensive to produce. And I ended up buying 1,000 of them on a prayer. And it was very expensive, but we sold out and we kept going. And so here I am 10 years later. We've upgraded our planner tremendously. We've got all sorts of different cover options. This was one of our 2025 planners. It's got tabs and pockets and all that kind of stuff. This was another option. We also have a black leather option here. So here's another one of the planners with the little ribbon bookmarks and all of that. So I'm going to talk to you about, first off, what does it mean to create a planner for a paper snob? What do I think that means? And then I'm going to share 3 big things you really need in order to accomplish this task. So the first thing I would say for a paper snob is the cover. Now, I know it's like, don't judge a book by its cover, but we all do. We all do. So this particular planner is hardbound. It's like a cardboard board, and then it's wrapped in art paper. That's what this is. This is wrapped in art paper. Art paper is great because you could put anything on it. So if you had a specific watercolor drawing or white marble, for example, or a picture of the world, you can do anything with that. This is also art paper. Other options would include a leather. Here's one of my students' products here. And here is like a linen. Also a great option for just a timeless, beautiful, good feeling thing. Now, you might be going, students, what's that? So I have a signature program that I created back in June of 2022 after years of people asking, how do you do it? I want to do that. I want to do that. I finally said, okay, I'm going to teach people how to do this. And so I created Print School. And then I realized, okay, people, now they know how to print and how to get it produced, but they need to know how to push it out into the world. And so I created Launch School. Launch School also helps you with getting your campaign set up, getting your website set up, getting your email marketing set up, getting your SMS set up, just getting your socials, getting the photography so that it looks really luxury and premium. So that's all really important. So one of the big things with making a paper snob product is when you create something like this, you create it to be in a luxury market. We create Paper Snob products because A, that's what I want, period. And the second, when you put yourself into the luxury market and that's where you're placing yourself, that allows you to actually charge what you need to charge in order to have a profit on the product you're producing. So my planners sell for $64, and that allows us the profit margin to have a business, to hire people, to reinvest in inventory for the future and keep going. You have to have profitability to keep going year over year. And so that's why I teach my students how to make sure that their products are elevated, luxury, intentional, thoughtful, not just the visuals of it, but the design of it, which we're going to get into. So I think the cover obviously matters. What's inside matters more, but the cover is important. If you have a janky cover, it's not going to sell and no one's going to know all the beautiful things you had inside. I also think as a Christian brand, I'm a Christian woman, I want my products to be excellent because they are faith-based. They should be most beautiful because we have such a creative God. So that's my thoughts there too. Another important thing about Paper Snobs is we care about binding, right? So the binding, we have the golden coil binding. Some people choose continuous coil binding, but no matter what, it's got to be lay flat. So that's really important. So we work with our students to make sure everyone's got the right specs when they talk to the printer in order to get lay flat. Another thing is the bells and whistles. So my planners have a few bells and whistles. So we've got, the ribbon bookmarks, here's the coil with elastic strap, gold corners, tabs. Other bells and whistles would be like the pocket inside. Here is some stickers that come with the planner. And then of course, packaging, that's a huge bell and whistle. So my planners all come in a beautiful box, which makes them very giftable. I'll do a little unboxing. ASMR. I'm so bad at this. Here we go. So this one's already been opened before, so sorry, it doesn't look as aesthetic as it once was, but it has the insert inside with a coupon for retention, a little sticker, then it opens up, and then the planner itself comes in a dust bag, which is great. I love using these dust bags for traveling or just keeping your planner clean. And then it also has this, where'd it go? The gold pin inside. So our planners also come with a gold pin. So all of that, plus there's a QR code inside the planner to take you to a course that helps you set up the planner. So there's so much added value that comes with the product, so much intentional design, even just from the unpackaging alone. So when people buy this, they're like, oh, next year I'm going to buy this as Christmas gifts. Like, you want your product to be something people come back over and over and over again. That's how companies stay alive, by customer retention, getting someone to buy the product and then going, oh, I'm going to go back next year and buy another one, or go back next week and buy another one. That's how businesses stay alive. Because if you're constantly having people buy and then never return, eventually your business is just going to fold. You have to work on that customer retention. So we do go over those growth strategies as well in Launch School for my students. So you have cover, binding, all the bells and whistles, packaging, and most importantly, intentional design. It's really important for that paper snob to enjoy the thoughtfulness of the product and really know, wow, a human made this, like a human cared. Every single page is taking them through another piece of the process. You're taking them on a journey, and it's been intentionally laid out for them, stepping stone by stepping stone by stepping stone. So that's really key. And you've probably opened a product and inside it felt like, okay, someone just put a cover on this and threw it out the door. And then you've opened a product where people really took you through the journey, right? And of course, last but not least, paper. The paper is important for a paper snob. The thickness of the paper, using that cover, a thick stock paper. Cover stock. Okay, gosh, my brain is not working. So we use 140 GSM for our paper to make sure there's absolutely no bleed through. Because as I mentioned before, I want my paper to feel like sketchbook paper. I want it to be thick and luxurious. And that's how all my products are. My Bible studies are like that. My notepads are like that. They're very, very thick paper. And people used to think I was crazy for using that thick of paper. And yes, it does make your product heavier, but I think that makes it, in my opinion, worthwhile, keepsake, and precious. So all those things come together, and that's really what I want you to be able to create. And there's 3 really important things you need. The first thing you need is you need to have your product properly designed. That's like your key first step. Before you start worrying about shipping it out or selling it, you need to have it made. And what you don't want to do, and I see this all the time, especially on YouTube and then teaching on YouTube, is going to Canva or buying someone else's Canva template that's wonky and weird. And you go in there and there's all these free templates and you're mixing and matching, and then all of a sudden the fonts don't match, and like you can't see how the spreads line up, like the left side and the right side. And it's like, well, I don't know how this is going to look, and the order, and it becomes what I call a Frankenstein product. And then from there, you abandon it, right? That's just like a tale as old as time. You go to Canva, you get excited, woohoo, you start to make something, and then it just turns into a Frankenstein. And then it's like, I can't put my finger on what's wrong, but it's not it. So if you've ever been there, you're not alone. You didn't do anything wrong. What you've been doing all along is creating a prototype. That's what you've been doing. If you've been on Canva messing around, you've been working on a prototype, which is great. That's just not going to be your final design. But that's a great first step for you. So what you have to do before proper design, you have to reel it back into another step, which I teach in my workshop called ideation. And I have a lot of videos here on YouTube about this. I have one called like the five key steps to getting started. We talk about ideation. You have to have your clarity statement. You need to build an index file. You need to start working on what do those first couple pages look like when someone opens my product. And so I have plenty of trainings on that here you can watch. But you need to have it properly designed. And the first step to doing that is mapping out the user experience, mapping out the skeleton of your product, sketching it out, pouring it out of your head and onto paper. And then you build that into a prototype. And then after you have your prototype, which maybe that's something you already have in Canva sitting there, maybe you have it stored away in journals, like you've drawn out a little bit, then you go into proper design. That's really important. It needs to be properly designed with enough white space, with balance on the pages, with the right size fonts, with the right size margins, just with all of it cleaned up. And the second thing that you really need is proper formatting, the proper formatting. And these proper design, proper formatting, those can all happen by using a really good designer. A designer can accomplish that for you, or you could learn how to do it yourself as well. Those are your 2 options. You can DIY, or you can get someone to do it done for you. If you want to do DIY, you need to learn how. And inside of Print School, we do have a free course for you taught by one of my key designers that I adore. And she teaches you InDesign, she teaches you Canva, and we give you templates that are already pre-formatted. So you can use those and create and go nuts and build out all the pages and build your final files. And we even teach you stickers and bookmarks and your box art and all that kind of stuff. So you can get all the bells and whistles on your product and your cover art and everything like that. And so you can do that, and that's great. You could become a designer. For me, I love to just hire. And when I got started back in 2014, I didn't have the time. Horacio Printing was kind of my side hustle gig. I didn't know if it was going to be successful. I was just excited to make a planner. And so I hired designers and we worked shoulder to shoulder until we had what we needed. But what I teach inside of Print School is how to hand off your vision well, how to do enough ideation, how to take it across the field just far enough to where you can hand it to them and they can run with it and get exactly what you want accomplished on the pages. And then they will format it for you, meaning they're going to set up the margins on the page, the little white space around so that, your design doesn't, get messed up by the coil. For example, let me show you a monthly spread here. You don't want this going all the way to the coil. You want to have some breathing room, and you don't want to accidentally have words too close to these coils. You've probably seen that in a product before, and it's like, oh, that's not a good look. That doesn't look good. So you want to make sure you have that formatting. And that's why I hire. And inside of Print School, you get access to multiple designers that you can hire that I've previously vetted. And so you get my full Rolodex of people to help you accomplish your project. And I help you with the project prep. So getting everything ready so that you can hand it off well, along with contracts. Now, the third thing that you really need in order to make a planner for a paper snob is the right printer. And I've talked about this a lot on my show, but print on demand isn't it. It's just not it. When it comes to a true paper snob, it's just not going to hit the mark. I've gotten planners from people that use more of a print on demand style, and it's not it. You need to go with a traditional printer. Now, if you are like, no, I have it, let me send you mine or buy mine and you can check it out. Please put a link. I'd love to see it, but I've been looking, I've been searching, and the intricate design and specs of the products that I make, along with the packaging, all of that packaging is happening at my printer. My printer is doing the stickers, sourcing the pins, getting the bag, putting it in the box with the tissue paper, with the sticker, like all of that's happening. You cannot get that with a print-on-demand printer. So with my traditional printer, what happens is you reach out to them, you get a quote, and you have to learn how to talk to them, which is something that happens at the beginning of Print School. I have a whole lesson on vocabulary, so you can become an expert. Then we go through all the specs, and you learn how to reach out to them. So you get to email the printer, we get to be CC'd so we can help you. And then you order a sample. Once that sample comes in, the next thing you do is approve the sample and order your mass order. Now, sometimes people don't have that cash sitting around to order 300, 500, 1,000. It's like, oh, that's kind of scary. Well, what I can teach you as an alternative, if you don't want to spend your money, you can do a pre-order campaign selling 25, 50, or 100 of your products as a pre-order and take that cash, and that's what you use to print 500. So that way they're already paid for, and all the money that you make post-printing is just profit. So that's the style that I teach, and a lot of our students do that. We actually have a great alumni page. If you want to explore some of our alumni, HoracioPrinting.com/alumni. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you can see all of these Kickstarter campaigns where students have printed their thing and they have created their own product and brought it to life through the power of crowdfunding. Now, these are not donations. They're actually paying you in order to get a pre-order, like a reward. So it's not just asking for money, it's people pre-ordering your product, which is super cool. We actually just had somebody cross the finish line today. She raised over $3,500 to bring her stunning product to life. I'm so proud of her. I love cheering on every single student. And in our community, a lot of our students, as they're gearing up, they're getting support, check out my page, audit my product, audit my Kickstarter, like tell me what's wrong, make it better. And so I love working with my students to help them make sure that it's polished and ready to go and has the best chance for success. So that's everything. I would love to invite you into Print School. You can watch my free workshop, HoracioPrinting.com/workshop, to learn the full dream printing method. But if you want to go ahead and skip to step 2 and apply for a spot inside of Print School, you can go to HoracioPrinting.com/Print School to learn more, check it all out, and apply. I would love to see your application come through. I would love to support you as you make your product and not just hold it, but put it out into the world and make impact. It's one thing to get to enjoy your products yourself. It's quite another to see someone else enjoying your product. So that's all for now. If you have any specific questions or things you want me to teach about in my next video, comment below. I would love to just connect with you and answer more questions. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.